and welcome to Midday News, where we get you all the top news stories at lunch hour. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor and these are the headlines. No let-up in disruptions in Parliament despite repeated appeals by Chairman and Speaker. Rajya Sabha adjourned till 2 p.m. after members protest over multiple issues for the 6th straight day. Lok Sabha adjourned for the day. Prime Minister Modi and French President Emmanuel Macron inaugurate Uttar Pradesh's biggest solar power plant in Mirzapur. Foundation for 75 megawatt plant was laid in 2016. Nine people of a trekking expedition killed in forest fire in Kurangani Hills in Theni in Tamil Nadu. 27 people rescued. 4 helicopters of the Indian Air Force involved in operations. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister rushes to the spot. India accuses Pakistan of harassing its diplomats in Islamabad, says that there has been aggressive surveillance, violation of physical space and tailing of its officers. Takes up matter with Pakistan Foreign Ministry. And India take on Sri Lanka in the 4th match of the Nidahas T20 tournament in Colombo in the evening today. All 3 teams in series have won a game each. Women's team bowled out for 200 against Australia in the first ODI in Vadodara. First up, news from Parliament, where proceedings in the Rajya Sabha were adjourned till 2 p.m. today over disruptions over various issues. Soon after the session began today, ministers laid papers on the table of the House, and after the chairman announced the 0 hour, several members began trooping to the well of the House. Despite the chairman's repeated appeals to them to get back to their seats, the MPs did not relent. The chairman then adjourned the House till 2 p.m.
When there is no order, how can there be a point of order? This is too much. This is too much. I am allowing every issue to be raised. Every issue to be raised. And I don't find any reason to come to the well of the House like this unless you just want to disturb the House and then send some message outside. This is very bad. This is very bad. Mr. Chaudhary has given a notice. I am adjourning the House to meet at 2 p.m. today.
All right, my colleague Panchanan Mishra is now joining us for more on this. Panchanan, now after the first week of the second part of the budget session was actually washed out, we were hoping that, the MPs would get down to some serious business involving important businesses. But sadly, that has not happened, at least not so far. So can we expect some sanity in the second half of the day today?
Yeah, Shwarya, it's the second week and it's the first day of the second week, and we have seen the same disruption which was lasted in the last whole week. And chairman also expressed its displeasure and anger on the way the MPs were behaving on the various issues from the various parties. And the situation is still the same, looking like in the last week, like Congress is also is demanding reply from Prime Minister and also discussion under 168 on this PNB scam. And DMK, AIDMK both are demanding to organize the Kaveri Management Board for the distribution of Kaveri water. And also the issues on the special package to Andhra Pradesh and special status, which is brought by YSR Congress, TDP and Congress members also. So there was totally looking like disruption, and it's very difficult to run the House. So the chairman also expressed its concern because it's this consecutive second week and it's the first day and no business was transacted in the last week also. So we are hoping that there are talks are going on between the government and opposition parties. So let's hope that there will be any hope. And also, there is a short duration discussion listed in Rajya Sabha also on this PNB scam. Yes. And the government is saying that they are willing to answer every query of the opposition, but opposition is not agree with the terms and condition of the government for the discussion. So let's hope what will be in the second half, and we have to see that. We have to wait for it.
Absolutely, we have to wait and watch what happens in the second half of the day. Thank you so much, Panchanan, for all those updates from Parliament there. Meanwhile, Lok Sabha proceedings were adjourned for the day following protests by the members in the lower house as well. Earlier, the House proceedings were adjourned for an hour as the political parties continued their protests over various issues. Now, members from the TDP, TRS and AIADMK stormed the well and raising slogans during the question hour. Remember, today was the 6th consecutive day when the House witnessed protests. The Lok Sabha has been witnessing similar protests since 5th of March, with parties raising several issues such as the PNB fraud, the special status for Andhra Pradesh, enhanced quota for Telangana and the constitution of the Kaveri River Board to settle Tamil Nadu's water dispute. But amid the protests, the Fugitive Economic Offenders Bill 2018 was tabled in the Lok Sabha today. MOS Shiv Pratap Shukla tabled the bill on behalf of Finance Minister Arun Jaitley. The bill provides for measures to deter fugitive economic offenders from evading the process of law in India, and the aim of the bill is to tighten the noose on economic offenders and defaulters who flee India. The bill will empower the government to confiscate any property owned by such a person in India, and the proposed law will be applicable in cases where the value of offences is over 100 crore rupees. And the aim of the bill is to re-establish the rule of law and also enforce the fugitive economic offenders to return to India to face trial for scheduled offences. The bill also aims to help banks and other financial institutions to achieve a higher recovery from financial defaults committed by such fugitive economic offenders.
I rise to move for leave to introduce a bill to provide for measures to deter fugitive economic offenders from evading the process of law in India by staying outside the jurisdiction of Indian court. The preserve the sanctity of the rule of the law in India and the matter connected therewith are incidental thereto.
All right, Ravindra Singh Shuran is now joining us. Ravindra, Lok Sabha proceedings stalled for 6th consecutive day despite, repeated appeals by Speaker Sumitra Mahajan. And though the good thing is that amid the protests, the Fugitive Economic Offenders Bill 2018 was tabled in the House.
Yeah, Aishwarya, the opposition parties, they have taken the baton today where they dropped it on the Friday. The consecutive 6th day, the House failed to transact any business. Various issues which has been raised by the opposition today as well, which includes the Kaveri Management Board, the TDP special status, the Nirav Modi issue, and the Trinamool Congress has been raising. These are the various issues the political parties are raising inside the House, and today also the House failed to transact any business. Initially, it was adjourned till 12 o'clock, and after 12 o'clock, it was adjourned for the rest of the day. Today, the Fugitive Economic Offenders Bill was introduced by Shiv Pratap Shukla, the MOS Finance. It was opposed by Bhartri Mehtab, the leader of the BJD in the House, and he has raised some points saying that it should not be introduced in the present perspective. Reason being, this is basically violating the fundamental rights of the person only 4 persons who has been fleeing the country, and they are in the paramount consideration while drafting this bill. And he opposed this bill, but his opposition was rejected by the Speaker, and later this bill was tabled in the House. Government is very much keen to pass this bill in the present session only, but the pandemonium we have seen for the last 6 days, what will be the fate of this bill, which is very important after the controversy which erupted when Nirav Modi and Mehul Choksi, they flee the country after taking a lot of loan from the PNB and various banks. This bill is quite important, and will it be able to pass in the present session and all the eyes are on the next couple of days when the House will function. Will it be function normally, or the same din will continue?
Oh, absolutely. So that is the question now, whether the House will function, because the first week of the second part of the budget session has actually been a virtual washout. Thank you so much, Ravindra, for all those updates from Parliament there. And earlier, the 2-day National Legislators Conference successfully concluded its inaugural conclave on Sunday afternoon in the national capital. The concluding session of the conference was addressed by Vice President and Chairman of Rajya Sabha M. Venkaiah Naidu, Lok Sabha Speaker Sumitra Mahajan, and Union Minister Arun Jaitley and Nitin Gadkari. Vice President Naidu asked the lawmakers to ensure smooth functioning of houses in Parliament and assemblies, saying that the disruptions send out a wrong message to the people and that it erodes the trust in politicians. This was the inaugural edition of National Legislators Conference, a brainchild of Lok Sabha Speaker Sumitra Mahajan, who conceived and organised a novel conclave wherein MLAs handpicked by speakers of different state assemblies took part. At the end of the two-day conference, the Vice President and Chairman of Rajya Sabha, M. Venkaiah Naidu, said that the conduct of legislators in the assemblies, constituencies and governing bodies should always be ideal.
Ideal behavior is more important than ideology. Whoever is in public life, be a MLA, be an MP or minister, or whatever functionary you are, you must conduct yourself in a better manner. Your conduct in the society. Second, क्षेत्र में आपका व्यवहार और आचरण. Your conduct in your constituency. Third, सदन में आपका व्यवहार. सदन माने केवल पार्लियामेंट नहीं, असेंबली, council, a parliament. These three are very important.
In his speech, Venkaiah Naidu stressed on the need of early consensus among political parties on women's reservation in Parliament and state legislative bodies. He also said that legislators must channelize their energies for the betterment of the public.
You also must be available to the people at any time of their demand. You can't say, no, I can't see you, these are my timings and all. Timings is good. But at the same time, you must be available. Now today it's demanding. It's an aspirational India and people also are demanding now. What matters is the character, caliber, capacity and conduct. 4 C's. Character, caliber, capacity and conduct. But some people are trying to replace it by 3 C's. That is caste, community and cash. That can never be a substitute. Please understand.
Addressing the conclave, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley said the hallmark of a good leader is who maintains high standards in public life. He said issues that affect people should be the focus of legislators. He also asked MLAs to take advantage of various social media tools for effective communication.
मुझे लगता है कि आज के तकनीकी युग में एक परिवर्तन आया है और वो परिवर्तन मैं आपके साथ शेयर करना चाहूंगा कि इससे पिछली संसद में जब मैं स्वयं रूप से प्रतिपक्ष में था, विपक्ष में थे हम लोग, तो मैंने एक नियम बना लिया था कि जो भी लंबा भाषण दो, मीडिया की मर्जी है कुछ छापे ना छापे, अपनी फेसबुक के ऊपर उसके टॉकिंग पॉइंट्स जरूर निश्चित रूप से डाल दो.
Lok Sabha Speaker Sumitra Mahajan hinted that the unique conference may be institutionalized. She said that the conference provided legislators a unique platform for exchange of ideas.
जो लेजिस्लेटर्स ने भी जो इंटरेस्ट दिखाया कि आपके डिस्ट्रिक्ट में क्या हो रहा है, उसका छोटा विचार भी यहाँ हो रहा है, जो कई बार हम लोगों के लिए भी जानकारी जैसा हो जाता है. और इसलिए ये पूरे सभी नीति आयोग के सदस्यों ने जिस तरीके से चित्र प्रस्तुत किया है, तो ये भी वास्तव में सराहनीय है. इनके सिवा ये कुछ होना नहीं है. और इसलिए जिन भी लोगों ने इसमें हिस्सा लिया है, अभी मैं आपको बताऊं कि ये लेजिस्लेटर्स कॉन्फ्रेंस रखने के पीछे भी उद्देश्य वही था. लास्ट ईयर हमने महिलाओं की रखी, इस बार आप सबको बुला लिया क्योंकि विकास होना है, सबको साथ में लिए नहीं हो सकता है.
In his remarks, Union Minister Nitin Gadkari shared his experiences in public life and asked legislators to work tirelessly for the people who had elected them.
टेक्नोलॉजी और नॉलेज का तो कोई कमी नहीं है. मैं इंजीनियर नहीं हूं ना मैं चार्टर अकाउंटेंट हूं. लोगों में गलत फहमी है बहुत से कि मुझे नहीं समझता सिविल इंजीनियरिंग का, पर लिम्का बुक ऑफ इंडियन रिकॉर्ड में कंक्रीट का काम मेरे नाम से लिखा गया. इसका कारण मैं काम जोर में करने में विश्वास रखता हूं, मुझे टेक्नोलॉजी का ज़्यादा नहीं समझता. सो एसेट इज स्ट्रॉन्ग पॉलिटिकल विल, और इसलिए आपके पास ये स्ट्रॉन्ग पॉलिटिकल विल अगर होगी तो आप कुछ भी कर सकते हैं.
At the conclusion of the two-day legislators' conference, a resolution was also adopted by MLAs and speakers of state assemblies to work for greater cause of development of the nation. This is Arvind Kumar Singh and Vineet Dikshit's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
News from Uttar Pradesh now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and French President Emmanuel Macron inaugurated a solar power plant in Mirzapur in the state. The 75-megawatt solar plant has been set by a French company and it is spread over 382 acres of land and about 350 crore rupees has been spent. The foundation of the plant was laid in the year 2016. It is one of the largest solar plants in the country. The inauguration comes a day after the successful launch of the first conference of the International Solar Alliance at the Rashtrapati Bhavan on Sunday. The two leaders later returned to Varanasi, where they visited the Deen Dayal Hastakala Sankul in Varanasi. Here they interacted with the artisans and viewed a live demonstration of their crafts. And earlier on Sunday, India, in collaboration with France, launched the International Solar Alliance in Delhi. A revolutionary alliance of developing nations led by India and France will pave the way for cheapest energy affordable for everyone in the world. This will also pave the way for creating an international grid of energy that will flow from sunshine-rich areas to sun-down countries. And at the end of the summit, India also signed a nearly $140 crore deal with 15 countries, including Sri Lanka and Bangladesh, and many other African nations for the establishment of solar projects and related research and development.
India and France will fund and facilitate countries to harness solar power through the International Solar Alliance. It will also give technical and logistical support to member nations to tap this abundantly and freely available source of power. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and French President Emmanuel Macron inaugurated the founding conference of the summit in Delhi on Sunday. Prime Minister Modi gave 10 action points speaking on the occasion. Prime Minister Modi stressed on inclusiveness and presented 10 action points for solar revolution.
हम 2022 तक रिन्यूएबल से 175 गीगावाट बिजली उत्पन्न करेंगे, जिसमें से 100 गीगावाट बिजली सौर ऊर्जा से होगी.
Mr. Prime Minister, you made a dream, and we did it. It was about this International Solar Alliance. It was 2 years ago, it was just an idea at that time, and we decided all together to act very concretely, and today is a big change.
India and France have put the target of investment of $1,000 billion for achieving the goal of the International Solar Alliance. While both the countries will put the seed money, gaps will also be filled by New Development Bank, controlled by BRICS, European Development Bank, and even the World Bank and other multilateral banks. Member nations also hoped that many more countries will join this effort initiated by India.
I am confident that the deliberations that we have set out today will navigate our joint effort towards practical cooperation and that the rest of the global community will join forces with the alliance.
International Solar Alliance will work to reduce the burden of pollution due to fossil fuels like petrol, diesel and coal. It will also provide consultation and technology to needy countries where sunlight is available in abundance. India has already started working on it and will launch a solar technology mission soon for the benefit of developing countries who lack such capabilities.
भारत सोलार टेक्नोलॉजी के गैप को भरने के लिए सोलार टेक्नोलॉजी मिशन भी शुरू करेगा.
But altogether, we take a new commitment, which is just to deliver, to get concrete results for our countries and for our planet.
The idea of International Solar Alliance was put forward by Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the 2015 Paris Conference of Parties on Climate Change, and France readily agreed to join hands. Now the number of countries interested in alliance has reached 121, with 61 countries already joined the alliance and 32 ratifying it.
This is the first major initiative of India and the most relevant to reach out to most of the developing countries directly. Though it is an one-issue alliance, but indeed it will help enhance political clout and influence of India in the world. Now it is up to the Indian business community and entrepreneurs to check out the plan accordingly and exploit this opportunity. Akhilesh Soman for Rajya Sabha Television with camera person Manoj in Delhi.
Switching gears, and today is the last date of filing of nominations for Rajya Sabha biennial elections and by poll. As many as 58 members from 16 states are set to retire in April and May this year. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley, BJP's Thawar Chand Gehlot, Ajay Pratap Singh and Kailash Soni filed their nominations today. Another BJP leader, Rajiv Chandrasekhar, has also filed his nomination. The Rajya Sabha by-poll will be held in Kerala seat, which fell vacant due to the resignation of JDU leader Virendra Kumar. And the election is slated on 23rd of March, and the results will be out on the same day after 5 p.m. Meanwhile, voting is underway for the Charilam Assembly seats in Tripura Assembly, and polling to the Charilam seat was postponed following the death of a CPIM candidate Ramendra Narayan Barma a week before the 18th of February elections in the state. The contest is chiefly among BJP candidates, newly appointed Deputy Chief Minister Jishnu Dev Burman and Congress nominee Arjun Dev Burma. As per reports, 35.45% of votes have been recorded till 11 a.m. And a 12-member delegation of protesting farmers will meet a 6-member government committee in Mumbai today. This after Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis said that the Maharashtra government was sensitive and positive towards the demand of farmers and tribals. Now, speaking in the assembly on the issue, Fadnavis promised to take a decision to resolve the issue in a time-bound manner. Over 35,000 farmers from across Maharashtra reached Mumbai on Sunday afternoon after a grueling 180 kilometers journey for 6 days from Nashik. The farmers who have banded together under the All India Kisan Sabha are demanding proper implementation of the Maharashtra government's loan waiver scheme. News from Tamil Nadu now, where the death toll in a major forest fire that broke out in the Kurankani Hills in the Theni district on Sunday evening has reached 9. Chief Minister Palanisamy is headed to the spot to oversee rescue operations here. Now, multiple teams, including those from the fire service, police and defence forces, have been pressed into service to rescue the 36 trapped trekkers, most of them women. The police said that 27 people have been rescued, 10 of them have been sent home and 17 are being treated in various hospitals. Indian Air Force has also sent 2 helicopters on the directives of the Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman after she was approached for help by Chief Minister K. Palanisamy. And in a tweet, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu also expressed grief by the loss of lives in the forest fire.
16 Garuds walked up and reached by about 3 o'clock early morning. They had rescued a few even in the night. And that area, as it goes up the hill, gets narrowed. The report is that the Garuds are trying to lift the bodies of the dead to a higher plane, to where you can have the helicopters go and carry them down.
Big story coming in from Jammu and Kashmir, where 3 militants have been killed in an encounter with the security forces in Anantnag district of the state. The encounter broke out after security forces launched an operation in Hakura area following information about the presence of militants in the area. The security forces have also recovered arms and ammunition, which include AK-47 rifles, pistols and hand grenades from the encounter site. Meanwhile, authorities have also ordered the closure of schools and other educational institutions as a precautionary measure. Kashmir University has suspended classes for the day and has also postponed examinations. Meanwhile, India has accused Pakistan of harassing its diplomats in Islamabad. Now, India has taken up the matter with the Pakistan Foreign Ministry over multiple incidents of hooliganism against Indian properties and its personnel in Islamabad. India has said that there has been aggressive surveillance, violation of physical space and tailing of its officers. Pakistan, on the other hand, has brought to the MEA's notice some incidents of alleged harassment over the last few days. India has said that the matter will be investigated and that it makes all the efforts to provide a safe, secure and hospitable environment for diplomats to work in. A top international focus now. China has removed presidential term limits from its constitution, giving President Xi Jinping the right to remain in office indefinitely and confirming his status as the country's most powerful leader since Mao Zedong died more than 40 years ago. Now, China's largely ceremonial parliament on Sunday overwhelmingly endorsed a controversial change to the country's constitution, paving the way for President Xi Jinping to stay in power indefinitely. China's ruling Communist Party announced the proposed amendment only last month, and there was never any doubt that it would pass as parliament is packed with loyal party members. Inside Beijing's Great Hall of the People, nearly 3,000 delegates to the National People's Congress or the NPC cast their ballots on a series of proposed amendments, including removing the restriction that had limited the presidency to 2 consecutive 5-year terms.
明确中国共产党的领导是中国特色社会主义最本质的特征。中国共产党领导呢，也是中国特色社会主义制度最大的优势。
And on to sports news now. India will take on Sri Lanka in the 4th match of the Nidahas Trophy T20 Tri-Series in Colombo today. The tournament is currently poised as all the 3 teams have won a game each from 2 outings. And Sri Lanka are leading the table on net run rate ahead of India and Bangladesh. On to women's cricket now. In the first match of the 3-match series of the ODI between India and Australia is underway at Vadodara. The Australia are at 47 for no loss with cricketer Alyssa Haley and Nicola Bolton at the crease. Earlier, India were all out at 200. Pooja Vastarkar was the top scorer with 51 runs. And that's all in this edition of Midday News. Thanks for watching.